Alright. Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode 267. We're here reviewing episodes 43 to 46 of Boukenger. The first episode is the Christmas episode, and episodes 44 to 46, they say it's the end of Dark Shadow Arc, but actually it's the end of Yaiba the Darkness. Because basically these are his last episodes of the future. He does come back in a tension movie, but this is pretty much it for him, the main series. Well, they're to come back. They're basically reduced as a threat, basically Dark Show. But before it gets up, let's talk about episode 43, the Christmas episode, where we see Santa Claus in the episode. And it's not some old man with a beard. Nope, it's some hot babe who drops into this toy with this kid because she missed one, and it turns out this thing is actually a golem, and Gaja returns in this episode. First time since... Actually, he had just appeared in the previous episode. He doesn't return again until, like, the final arc after this episode. So he's absent for a few episodes, but at least he's not absent for, like, 8 straight episodes again. I'm not sure why he was absent for 8 straight episodes. Maybe that much for him to do. So, I like the whole Christmas aspect of this episode. And it's interesting the fact I review this basically less than just less than a few weeks before Christmas itself. Right now, real life. Yeah, this episode was a lot of fun. And the fact that, well, that Boukenger, that the chief got a chance to hang out with the hot Santa Claus. And of course, Boukenger is just like, she's like, really? You hang out with this Navy mission? I still have this headcanon in mind that she has a thing for the chief and she's jealous of any woman that's basically not Natsuki. Like, a lot of women, she's like very jealous of him. Like, I'm thinking it's implied she might be attracted to him, possibly, but I don't know if the series will go into that. But 43 is an absolute fun episode. 44 to 46 are quite interesting, despite the fact it's a 3 loose connected episodes. It doesn't feel like basically a 3-part of this one. Not really. It feels like 3 loosely connected episodes. That's what it seems like anyways. First, you have Yaiba Darkness. He wants to unleash his mysterious power at the Hermit Summit, I believe it's called. And the master's like, nope, that's not necessary. Just leave that alone. And he decides to go anyways. He breaks the seal. And of course, that's when the master... It's revealed that he actually used to be human. Yeah, the bird, he used to be human. And of course, he flies out there with an injured wing. And of course, then we have where basically Natsuki won a contest to go to Hot Spring. It's like Hot Spring, Hot Spring, Hot Spring. And of course, they rock, paper, scissors. And so it's basically her, Silver, and I believe it's Blue go to this hot spring. Which, this is fine, interesting. Yes. So they go there and they get lost. And then she meets up with Gachu. She does not know this actually is the leader of the Dark Shift. He has no idea about that. It's not because she's a airhead. Because she's just really know. She's never met this guy before. So I at least praise the fact that she's... You might think, oh, is she dumb enough to recognize this is the boss of Dark Shadow? Not necessarily. She's only met Suck of the Wind and Yaiba the Darkness. She's only met just those two. Never met their boss. I mean, did she suspect Yaiba was a boss? No, I don't think she ever suspected at all. No. She treats him, carries him off, and of course you have to take these 2 seals and seal up the, creature itself. And seal up this thing, and of course then he gets captured by Yaiba Darkness, who actually turning on Dark Shadow. So he's become a bad guy for these episodes. Then he reveals, oh yeah, you know that bird you help? That's our boss. Or he say, that's my former boss. Because basically he quits. And also he slices up Suck of the Wind. And she fights him again in episode 46. And, well, she doesn't do anything with him afterwards. She doesn't even beat him. It's like she's been reduced as a threat. Yes. A woman who's been described as very cute. Which, no denying that. I think she's a very beautiful woman, the actress who plays her. Who does a great job playing her. And can you believe she only appeared in 18 episodes out of 49? You would think that she appeared like half the series. No, she's been appearing since like episode 3. It just says she doesn't appear in every episode. That's kind of the strange thing about this. I'll talk more about that next time. So basically, the master goes to his giant bird form, and then of course, basically Natsuki, and of course, it ends up raining, and of course, her and Silver ends up stealing the monster, and well, the master goes off, and those two are not seen again. I mean, the master pops up again in 46, but he's not in 45. Yaba's there as a basically just basically an other character. You can think of him as an other character this one because he's more like a supporting antagonist in this episode. Because basically, Reiwa is back in this episode, first time since episode 42, where we see that apparently his grunts pretty much all killed each other, like 3,000 all killed off, and he makes the last one there the last of his wicked dragons. Yeah, the last one in the series. And I'm going to talk about basically what these monsters and the Dark Shadow monsters based on, because basically both these, like, Dark Shadow is pretty much done as a threat, so I'm going to basically reveal in a little bit what these characters are based upon, along with the monsters from Reiwa's group. Reiwa, I'll reveal basically what he's based on in the finale. Yep. So, like, the whole thing about this episode, it sets up the following episode, 46, where they're after this precious known as the three-headed dragon of darkness, where they fight over it, and of course this whole episode is focused on Masamine, where apparently it's like, oh, gotta do some cleaning in the room. Yeah, this is basically kind of his arc per se, where I feel like his darkness, and then he kind of goes to his friends, including a girl who likes him. One of them, it's Natsuki. So he ends up basically like going to Yaiba, like not telling anybody, but then the chief basically follows him, and eventually his team follows him too. And of course they try to free him, and eventually, of course, in 46, like thanks to a very interesting battle they have. But by the way, the monster from 45, he's basically one of those copycat monsters that Sentai likes using, where it copies the weapons. And of course, basically, the monster's destroyed, well, initially, by Boukenger. And Black basically, it's like here's the strange thing, the way he's acting over the course of this episode and the following one. It's like the way it is back in the first episode. It's like they kind of forgot about this aspect about the character. Well, mainly the reason why he's acting this way from a viewer perspective, I think it's because he's reading his own diary. The fact he kept it underneath his desk for, like, believe it or not, 45 episodes. We don't bring up the whole aspect of these two being rivals, and now I bring this up again for reasons. Not really sure why. Eventually, by the very next episode, Yaiba, by the way, monster's defeated by, Boukenger beats me, basically stabs him in the same spot, basically punch right through, because he can't use the same attack twice. So, he's defeated. Yaiba Darkness is defeated by Masaki, where he proceeds to, after he defeats them, and of course there's also this ball of light coming down. By the way, this is the first episode not to feature an actual monster fight. There's no monster in 46 at all. Nope. It is the first episode of this whole series not to feature an actual monster, but it does have the Megazord come out to battle this thing of darkness. Like this dark energy from space. I'm thinking, like, is this a nod to GoGo 5? Is this the negative energy left over from Queen Benshira and something kind of part? It's possible, but who knows? And eventually, basically, the Kree is destroyed. At nearly the cost of the main Megazord, it's nearly destroyed. Like, the thing is, like, smoking because of the fact it nearly ran out of power. It was at its limit when it destroyed it. And then, of course, Masaki leaves, goes walking out because apparently his darkness is trying to consume him. End the episode. I gotta admit, these 4 episodes are really good. Before I end this video, I did mention this. I'm talking about basically what these monsters are based on from Dark Shadow, and of course also from Reiwa's group, because this group is pretty much done. The first monster popped in episode 3, which debuted Dark Shadow. Juggerme, he is based upon the primary Megazord, the first Megazord seen in Boukenger. The second one, Takumi, who popped in episode 5, he's based upon the second Megazord. From what I can tell, looks like the one used by the Sentai equivalent of the Thunder Ninjas. Yep. Kazugami, who put out episode 9, that's the third monster. This is based upon the second Megazord used by Car Ranger. Kagami, this is actually, I think, one of like a couple monsters based upon the VX Robo from Time Ranger. Yep. That was the fourth one. The fifth one, Nenagumi, he is based upon the balls from Hurricaneger. Yep. Zenigumi, not based on a particular Megazord per se, but his move is basically the same move that Galaxy Mega uses. Interesting. The Junk one, he is based upon Luna Boy from GoGo 5. Okay. The Ship Man, he's based upon the second Megazord used for 5-man. And the last monster, Marigumi, he is based upon King Pyramider from O-Ranger. You're thinking, that's cool. And what about the Jerry Clan? They're monsters. The Wicked Dragons. The first one used. One popped up in episode 7. That one is based upon the primary Megazord used for Ginga Man. The second one, Lendum, he is based upon Garujin, which is basically an alternate form of Dragon Caesar. It's basically Dragon Caesar with the 4 of the 5 main primary Zords. Niga, who was the third Wicked Dragon, he is based upon he's based on one of the Zords. He's based on Boltaurus. That's one of the Boltaurus was the mecha used by the Sentai Magna Defender. Ricky's monster form is based upon a Zord from Abba Ranger. Yes. Too long. He's based on Daruju. Who's Daruju? You may know his Power Ranger equivalent. Serpentera. Lord Zed's evil Megazord. His own Zord. The Child's thing. Dambi, he's based upon Opero, which is the main Megazord used for Opera Ranger. The final one used in episode 45, that is based upon a monster based upon... Okay, it's based upon the Stegosaurus Megazord from Abba Ranger, which that's kind of interesting. Yes, and that's basically one of the monsters, that's the Wicked Dragons. The Daruru, which is basically translated to Great Evil Dragons. The first one used in the first 2 episodes, that is based upon the Brontosaurus Zord from Zoo Ranger. Zard is based upon Ginga Rhinoceros. Grand is based upon Giga Phoenix. Zoran, based upon one of the Zords used in Abba Ranger. It's Blaster Topaganger. Oh yeah, it's a Pterodactyl Zord. Grand, he's obviously based upon V-Rex. Yeah, he is the main form, the V-Robo that was used for a different monster. And that's it. But you think, okay, what about the main members of Dark Shadow? Well, because their threat in this series is pretty much over, so I'm going to talk about them. Let's talk about the man who got killed off in episode 46, Yaiba the Darkest, who was used for Commander in Operation Overdrive. His design is based upon the Maku Shogun, the Shogun Megazord from Kakaranger, the first one he used, which I will talk about that. Don't worry. His face reveal resembles Giga Phoenix. Evil face. Okay. What about the leader of the group? Genku Illusions. The bird form is based upon Holy Beast. Oh, he's based upon the Falcon Zord. Yeah, the Falcon Zord. The giant bird that he transforms into, that is based upon Jet Garuda. That was the second Megazord used in Jetman. Sucker of the Wind. She herself is based on Um. Oh, it's based upon the second Megazord used. Well, I'd say it's loosely based upon the second Megazord used in Kaka Ranger, and it says this her super form resembles the super form of this one, which this is basically, let's see, super. Um, I think a super one is one that included the Falcon Zord as part of the thing. I think so. hmm But that's pretty much Dark Shadow for you. Yep. So yeah. In case you're really curious, though, there's only one monster left of the whole series, and that pops the very next episode, and that's Gaj's last monster. Yep. I'll talk more about him and Cracking Rabra, Rowan. I'll talk about who they're based upon and the mecha they used. I primarily wanted to focus on, when I talk with the episode, I want to talk about basically what the monsters for these two organizations are pretty much used. Mainly because at this point they're pretty much done. Because Dark Shadow's pretty much been written out of the series. So they do come back. But as a threat, their pretty much threat is diminished. Because Yaiba Darkness was basically eliminated in these episodes. But in the case of Reiwa's group, well, he has last monster. So I figured I want to talk about his monsters. Now, do I think basically it's interesting to know that a lot of his monsters come from some... Like in the case of Reiwa's monsters, it seems like it take a lot from Ginga Man. Yeah, a lot of it's from Ginga Man, a little bit of Abba Ranger, and also Die Ranger as well. Actually, no, not Die Ranger. It's mostly put just like the animal-based ones. Basically, like it's more like from Zoo Ranger. Yeah, mostly put it just from Zoo Ranger, a little bit from Abba Ranger, and Ginga Man. That's primarily what his based on. For the ones used for Yaiba Darkness, from what I can tell, like I mentioned, it's mostly for her, just Hurricaneger, Kaka Ranger, a little bit from Car Ranger, and Mega Ranger. Just a little bit here and there, but mostly just the ninja-based ones, obviously. But definitely looking forward to talking about the last episode, which that'll be next after the next video, which is going to be a review for My Hero Academia. Now you might be asking, is it going to be interviews today? Yes, definitely. That will happen right after I review the last 3 episodes of Boukenger. And I'll give my final thoughts on Boukenger as a whole, along with talking about what Ray was based upon, Gaja and Gaja's handful of monsters he had over the course of the series. Yes. Now, what I we talking about is crossover with Gecko Ranger? Yes. Happened today? Don't know. I don't know yet about that part, but I'm talking about that one, and of course also the movie and the tribute episode from Gokaiger, because that's a very important tribute episode, because it follows up what something happens in the next episode. But some of you probably be thinking, what's that coming next? You'll find out in the next episode of this video review series. You find out which one we do next. Okay, so that's the particular view. Next up is going to be My Hero Academia. Okay, next view. Bye.